Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. Couple of things before I get started. I got a whole bunch of new stuff, but we'll get to that in a minute. Um, I have a contest going on. It was supposed to be 250 subs, and now I'm up to over 300 subs, so that was really great. It ends on Mother's Day, and the 13th, I think that is Sunday, is the last day to enter, and on Monday I'll be drawing the winner. The idea was to pick 5 bands that you really thought put out a great album, and then someone from that album, when that band left and did a solo album that was equally as good, or maybe he did an album that sucked and you didn't like, so you can show that too. But give me 5 examples of bands and then people who have left the band and did a solo album. Prize is $25 gift certificate, or $25 on Amazon, or I can probably do a PayPal too. So I got about 8 or 10 entries so far, which is great. Always looking for more. So after Record Store Day, which is like 2 weeks ago, I pretty much decided I was done buying records for a while. I was tapped out. I bought too much. I had too much stock. I just couldn't deal with it. So that lasted about a week or so, which is not too bad. And then a guy I used to work with called me up and said he and his father clean out old people's houses, and he had about 400 records that this woman, the family didn't want, so he had them, and he brought them over, and old lady records. I got maybe half a dozen, and I don't know which ones they are now because I sort of mixed everything together. I also went the other day to Goodwill on Tuesday, which is a Senior Citizen Day, so I got 20% off that, so that was good. And I picked up some other stuff along the way, so I got a bunch of records to show. Oh, and one book. Let me show you the book first. Excuse me. So we were in Woodstock, Vermont, my wife and I, and we walked by the library, Woodstock Library, and they were having a sale, cleaning out a lot of old stock. So we stopped in, and for $3, I got Johnny Cash, The Life. So really, not a first edition, but it's virtually unread, and great pictures, and yeah, looking forward to digging into this one. So Johnny Cash, that was really cool. Good buy there. All right, on to the vinyl. First one I picked up, I think I got this at Goodwill the other day. You always see a lot of Marty Robbins albums, but this one I thought was particularly nice. I think it's his first solo album, and it's on the Columbia 6i, which is very nice and in really good condition. So, little Marty Robbins, little country for you. Like I said, all over the place with styles. This one I didn't really know much about. Someone showed it the other day on one of the videos I was watching, so when I saw it, I said, well, let me grab it. Again, almost everything I'm showing you was $1 or less. The guy that brought over the 300 records that I did, we traded with, so it didn't cost me anything. The rest were like $1 or less, so that worked out well. This is Billy Squier, a solo album. Don't know much about him or it, but I figured for $1 I'd give it a shot. Billy Squier, and this is on the Capitol label. Whoop. Billy Squier, there you go. No big deal. Next one is a cool one. I saw this, and I couldn't believe I saw this at Goodwill. I mean, who buys this and then gets rid of it? It just seems weird to me. Andy Summers and Robert Fripp. I Advance Masked. This is from 82. Not in the best shape, cover-wise. The cover's a little beat, but the vinyl is pretty damn clean. So, looking forward to digging into that. Robert Fripp and Andy Summers. That's pretty cool for $1. Another weird one, which I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I'm going to give it a shot. And it's Philip Glass, who is a classical composer. Did some opera, etc. But this one is called Songs from Liquid Days. And it features, it says here, lyrics by Laurie Anderson, David Byrne, Paul Simon, and Suzanne Vega. Featuring Bernard Fowler, the Kronos Quartet, the Roaches, Linda Ronstadt, Douglas Perry. So, I figured I'd give it a shot. Philip Glass. Next one I was happy to get because I have a copy, but it's not clean, and this one was very clean. And Frank Sinatra, No One Cares. It's a stereo repress, but that's okay because the vinyl is so clean, I couldn't believe it. I love that cover, and everybody's partying, and he's all by himself, no one cares. Gordon Jenkins is the orchestra leader on this. So, great record. It's on the Columbia, I don't have to show you, it's on the Rainbow Columbia label. Take my word for it. And then I got a bunch of jazz albums. These were great. I was really happy to get all this jazz. Got to clean this up and listen to it. I picked up their album, the one I'm about to show you. I picked up their first album last week, which was live in the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. And this is Second Movement, Eddie Harris and Les McCann. So, looking forward again to dig into this one. This is from 71. So, Cornell Dupree on guitar. Yeah. Eddie Harris, Les McCann. Second Movement. Another one, again, I was surprised to see as clean as it was. Dave Brubeck with Jay Johnson and Kai Winding, trombone players. This is live at the Newport from, what year? 56, July 6, 1956. Recorded live. So I'm sorry, my mistake. One side is Dave Brubeck Quartet featuring Paul Desmond. The other side is the J.J. Johnson with the Kai Winding Quintet. So they're not together, they're separate, but equal. There you go. Dave Brubeck. Speaking of Dave Brubeck, here's Dave Brubeck in Europe. Also on Columbia 6i, if I remember right. Yeah. Nice Columbia 6i on this one. 1958. In surprisingly clean condition, so. Love me some Dave Brubeck. There you go. Oh, speaking of piano players, what we're listening to in the background is this record, this box set I picked up recently. It's called Jazz Piano. It's 6 LPs, starting with, oh God. If I don't fall over the chair, I'll show you. Starting with Jelly Roll Morton and going all the way through to Herbie Hancock. So it's 6 records. Looks like they'd never been played. Picked this up for about $6 a couple weeks ago. So finally digging into this, which is great. And the reason I thought of that is because, speaking of piano players, is Errol Garner. You always see Errol Garner albums at Goodwill, but this one looks really nice. Plays for dancing. Again, clean, Columbia 6i. Clean as a whistle. Just needs a little light cleaning, and I think we'll be ready to go. Looking forward to this one. Excuse me. Oh, it's like 80 degrees here in Maine today, and I just came back from a 3.5 mile walk in the sun and made myself my own shake. Okay, next up, again, a guy you see in records a lot, but I don't have this one, so I picked it up. Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, at Symphony Hall, 1947, as in Boston, Volume 2, featuring Jack Teagarden, Barney Bigard. I mean, it's great. So, again, got to clean it up. Looking to dig into this one. This is on Decca. Really dark Decca label. I don't think you can see that. That's pretty cool. And the next one is one I saw, and I was excited because actually he just passed away last year, and I never see a lot of his albums around. He's from South Africa, trumpet player Hugh Masekela, and just rarely do you see his records. So this has Night in Tunisia on it, which is pretty cool. This one needs a good deep cleaning. The cover is, as you can see, cover is sort of screwed up. But the record looks pretty clean. So I'm looking forward to that. It's on Blue Thumb, 1974. Hugh Masekela. The next one is a one that I had without realizing I had, because it was from a different label, a different cover. So how would you know? It's Ray Charles. It's just called The Fabulous Ray Charles. And I have another copy which is exactly the same album, same songs, with a completely different cover on a completely different label. But the other one I have is a simulated stereo, whereas this is the mono. So I'll keep this one and get rid of the stereo. The stereo. Now here's one, again, an artist you see a lot, but I've never seen this record. So I grabbed it. Ronnie Milsap. That's a great cover, eh? I love that. And I think it's his first album. I looked on Discogs. I could only find this record as a promo or as a CD. I couldn't find the regular release. It's on the Warner Brothers Green label. And yeah, again, looking forward to cleaning this up and getting into it. But I love that cover so much. I couldn't resist. It's pretty cool. Ronnie Milsap. And then the last two, as I was, the trade I was doing with my friend who brought the 300 records over, these were two in there that I grabbed right away. This one is Nat King Cole from the very beginning, still sealed, never opened. So I assume it's all his piano music before he became a big singer. Leonard Feather series, 1973. So, you know, if you don't know, Nat King Cole was a great jazz piano player before he started singing. He was still a great piano player, but he ended up becoming more of a vocalist. But if he'd stuck straight to jazz piano, he would have been one of the greats for sure. And also there, I guess you like Nat King Cole, was this box set from Nat King Cole. Again, there's another set. Looks like it's never been played. Every record is clean as a whistle. It's called Forever Yours. If I can get it open. There we go. And every record clean as can be. Never been played. So, that's my latest finds. And this time I mean it. I'm not buying any more records for at least a week. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hey, thanks a lot for watching my video. Thanks to all the subscribers. Since I started my contest, I said I'm over 300 subscribers now, which is just mind-blowing to me. I really appreciate everybody taking time out of the day to watch my little videos. If you get a chance to make an entry for my contest, you got another week or so. And enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, and until next time, peace.